What is going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop Luke. It's been a while, a couple of months since I've done a preview for a game, but the season is finally here. We're finally restarting on Thursday against the Tigers. So let's roll the intro, jump straight into it. Just before we do jump straight into it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you get a pop-up whenever I release a video this season. With games restarting, you're looking at a minimum of 2 videos, so a preview and a review of the game, and then an extra video. It'll be news or a bonus video or my AFL Evolution 2 series. Also, quick shout out to Positive AFL on Instagram. I'll chuck their handle somewhere around here. But for this awesome t-shirt, or not even a t-shirt, this long sleeve shirt, fits like a glove, really awesome, perfect for the winter, perfect for footy restart, so a shout out to them. I've gone the black text on the white, you can go the white text on the black, you know, it doesn't even have to be Collingwood. Obviously if you're watching this, you're a Collingwood supporter, but it can be any other team. They've got a bunch of other awesome merch, so definitely check them out at Positive AFL. I'll chuck their card up here and a link down below. Anyway, enough of that, let's get straight into this preview. So it seems like forever ago since round 1. I've got this as a segment called Last Week, but it's pretty much last few months. But the last time football was on, the Tigers played the Blues in the season opener. Lots of umming and ahhing if we were ever going to go ahead with the season, but we did. They were the first team to play to an empty stadium, and it was a very surreal experience if you did watch the game. The game was pretty much won and lost in the first half, mainly the first quarter. 7 goals Richmond piled on against a sorry Navy Blues outfit. But to the Blues' credit, they did come back in the second half, gave the Tigers a little bit of a scare. What I want to touch on about this game is that Jacob Wiedering kept Tom Lynch goalless, which was a great feat. You know, Tom Lynch is a very dominant forward, obviously. But Wiedering kept him goalless, and the thing is with the Richmond forward line, you can keep Lynch goalless, but then Rewalt popped up, he kicked 3 goals, so you have to be really on your game. But what I did find is that whenever the Blues piled on the pressure and started outpacing Richmond and taking the game to Richmond, Richmond started to back away ever so slightly. It seems like they don't really like the pressure applied to them. They do a lot of pressure applying themselves, but when the Gloves, on the other hand, they don't really like it, and they backed away, let the Blues come in a little bit. So that could be something that we tamper with as well in this round 2 game. So as for us, as you're well aware, we versed the Bulldogs in the first game, absolutely annihilated them, over 50 points. I think, in my opinion, it was the best game we have played since the 2018 prelim against the Tigers. We were just very cohesive, and it wasn't just, you know, the forwards were doing a good job, or the midfielders, or the defenders. Everyone worked really well as a team. I think that comes down to the good summer that we did have, and I talked about it in my preview to the Bulldogs game and my AFL, my 2020 preview for the Pies. I think that we're more of a team now than we have been in the last few years. Yes, we made the grand final, yes, we made the prelim, but I felt that round 1 performance was something that we haven't seen in a very, very long time. I think we made the Doggies look second rate for a top 4 contender before the season started. Even premiership contenders, you know, they were saying that the midfield was one of the best. We made them look like bottom 4. I know it's a bit harsh to say, but we absolutely did. Just made them look second rate for that entire game. Just a quick shout out to Checkers in that game, kicked 3 goals. One of the most underrated forwards in the entire competition. Our forward line works because of him. And talking about underrated, quick shout out to our defense. Definitely the most underrated defense in the comp. So I keep talking about feeling like lifetimes ago, feeling like ages ago, but this game does feel like a lifetime ago. Round 19, 2019 was the last time we met the Tigers, and we've probably forgotten all about how that game went down because we've just wanted to push it right out of our memory. It was that shithouse. Look, I'm not going to dwell on it too much because it's not good to, you know, dwell on the past and stuff, especially when it comes to football. Things change, you know, a whole preseason happened, a whole COVID-19 situation happened, so we're not the same team that we were then that we are now. But I do want to make a couple of points just about that game. One, when that game was played, we had 17 players unavailable, whether it be injuries or suspensions or stuff like that. Two, another game in the wet where we failed to deliver, so hopefully it's a little bit drier this week. And three, even though the Tigers got out to a 50-point lead in the second quarter, we did fight back a little bit, but it's always the Collingwood fightbacks are a little bit too late when the game was absolutely done. It was kind of foreshadowing to the prelim, but this is just me going a little bit off topic. But to wrap it up, this segment, I just don't think that there's much to do to dwell upon that game. Maybe if we had versed them round 1 and this was round 15 in a normal season, yes, we can look into it. But when 6-7 months have gone by, there's no real point. But obviously there's lessons that we can learn in that game. So a couple of key areas and matchups that I want to look at is our forwards need to be held more accountable against Richmond without the ball. They did it a lot in round 1. They turned into defensive forwards when we didn't have the ball, tackling a lot inside that forward 50. But when we did verse them last time in that round 19 clash that I was just talking about, we let their defenders take close to 40 marks, and most of those were intercept marks. So we have to keep their defense on their toes when we don't have the ball. We can't just let them be taking that clear possession and then running out, because we know how good of a team they are running out of half-back. A key matchup I want to look at is who goes to Dustin Martin. We would have loved to have chucked Levi Greenwood onto him, but obviously that's not going to happen. Who goes on to him in the midfield is the big question. Taylor Adams did a great job on Bontempelli in round 1. Totally shut him down. Had a nothing game. Do we see Taylor Adams go back onto Dustin Martin? Remember, there's no Treloar, so we lose that midfielder. So you put Adams onto him to show a bit of that grunt, bit of that jumper work. But then when Dustin Martin goes to the forward line, who goes on him then? And no questions, has to be Braden Maynard. Obviously, I love the kid. Love the mongrel. I think not so much like for like, but power for power with Martin. We just can't let Martin off the leash like we have in the last couple of games that we've played them. The last key area for me is the Lynch and Rewalt battle with our backline. Obviously, we're going to have Moore and Roughhead down there. The last time we played him, we didn't have Moore. Lynch kicked 5 goals. Roughhead, I think that was the game that he got concussed. I should have checked this up before I started to record. But I'm pretty sure that game he was knocked out or he got injured through the game. But Lynch, anyway, did kick 5 goals. With Moore back, I think that Moore will get the job on Tom Lynch and Roughhead will go to Rewalt. If it's not working, I think they'll switch. I don't see anyone else playing on them. You're not going to put a Crisp onto them or a Howe or a Maynard or, a Noble. So obviously Moore and Roughhead have got their work cut out for them. Like I said, they're kind of like Hydra. You cut one head off, another pops up and does even more damage. So if you keep Tom Lynch quiet, Rewalt will do damage. Rewalt quiet, Lynch will do damage. It's just about keeping them to less than a goal or 2 goals each. So my predicted ins and outs, as you're aware from last year, this section, because I do this a couple of days before the game, give my predicted ins and outs, and then on Instagram, at Swoop Luke, I put up the ins and the outs. Anyway, I got 3 guys coming out. Madgen, Josh Thomas, Mason Cox. Mason Cox through injury. Josh Thomas dropped because of form. And Madgen just because he doesn't fit into the lineup at the moment. Who have I coming in for them? Obviously, Stevenson for Josh Thomas gives us a bit more of a spark, a bit more of a marking option in the forward line. Sire or Wills for Madgen, that extra midfielder. Either one can give us that grunt in the midfield and either go to Martin or let Taylor Adams go to Martin and become that extra midfielder, which we didn't have with Adam Treloar out against the Doggies. And lastly, Darcy Cameron will debut, in my opinion, for Mason Cox, because Mason Cox has done not done his knee, got a bit of knee bruising. There's reports that he won't pull up, so why risk him, pretty much. So that's who I think will come in and out of the side. So my big call and predictions, I feel like we will get on top. It's going to be a very close game. Obviously, it's going to be the first huge hit out since all this stuff happened, so it will be close. I don't anticipate it to be very high scoring. I do think we'll win by 3 goals. So we'll say by 19, 20 points, we'll get on top of them. My big call is that Tom Lynch will be kept held goalless for the second round of the season. So if you stuck with me this far, thank you so much. That's just been my preview for the big game. Getting back into it, kind of forgot how to do it all. So leave in the comments below your thoughts. If you want me to include a section, what can I do with predicting the game better, or what more stats do you want to see and stuff like that, let me know below. But in the meantime, don't forget to check out @PositiveAFL for awesome merch. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers, I'll swoop you later.